Christine from Hollis Hands Create. Today is August 12th. This is episode 14 of my Flosstube channel. If you are a return visitor, I'm so glad to welcome you back. If you are a new viewer, this is a channel primarily about cross stitch, and a few other things may be thrown in, but primarily about my stitching. And I'd love for you to hang and visit with me for a little while. It's been just a bit. July 1st was my last video. We've had a really busy month and a half. I actually had my mom, who's almost 86, come down. She lives up in Springfield, Missouri. And my oldest sister brought her down to stay with me for, it was going to be originally for like 2 weeks and ended up being about a little over 3 weeks. Someone at her church had been diagnosed with COVID, and we found out just a couple of days prior to taking her back. So we kind of said, you know what, let's just wait. And so we waited about another week and a half. Luckily, no one else from the church has been diagnosed, which is really good. And so we're just keeping, the lady who was diagnosed, who's in the hospital now, on a ventilator, keeping her in our prayers. And luckily, no one else, it's been about 3 weeks, and no one else has come down with anything. So we felt like it was safe for her to go back home for a little while, and she might, come back and stay with us again. So, which makes it easier on my youngest sister to have a little bit of help, and give her a break as well from, taking care of my mom. My mom had 100% blockage of the aorta and major heart attack just about 2 years ago. And she actually had flatlined twice, and they were able to bring her back. But she's, suffering some of the after effects, obviously, of having a major health event like that. So there's a lot of medications and a lot of things to take care of, and a lot of, forgetfulness and just, general things, as well as, being almost 86, right? So anyway, so we've had that going on. You might see my shirt here, Release the Kraken. You all have heard me talk about my daughter Savannah, who lives in Seattle. She is the social media manager for what was being called NHL Seattle, which is the National Hockey League. And they just had their brand launch this couple of weeks ago, and that was a huge deal. Basically, that was announcing the name, the logo, the jersey design, everything. And so she, of course, being the social media manager, and where everything is on social media nowadays, she was working her tail off. I think she messaged when the whole thing had finally ended and was over. She had messaged that she had gotten about 12 hours sleep in about 4 days. But it just went super well. And so, of course, I got my shirt. I actually went on to the Seattle Kraken store because I just thought this was the best thing ever. The team and the organization, when you release something like this, you've got all your fans who've been waiting, and they've been asking for over a year and a half, what's the name going to be? What's the name? And they, people who root for teams and things like that identify with that. They want the logo, the merchandise, and all that kind of stuff. So they really could have profited very handsomely from the initial sales of all of the merch. And I was so thrilled to hear and to read what they decided to do. 100% of the profits from all the merchandise sales for the first month, so it goes to, I think, August 20th, is going to different organizations in the Seattle area for homeless and child advocacy. so teens at risk, youth programs and things like that. So they set records. Fanatics, which is one of the larger sports merchandise companies, reported that they just set all kinds of records for sales, and I just think that's fantastic that that they were able to do that. So anyway, so if you happen to be a hockey fan, and they're the 32nd expansion team, and of course it's kind of cool to have something that's from the initial expansion release. So and the money goes to a good cause. So anyway, we did go back, took my mom back this past weekend, so I did have the shop closed for a few days, which was really nice. I haven't, when you work at home, you tend to, and especially with an online type of business, you tend to be open 24/7. And so it was kind of nice. I actually had to shut down on Monday night in order to get all of the current orders out the door so that I could actually leave on Friday and be able to have the weekend off. So that's kind of a bummer to have to be closed for days that you're actually still here, but in order to get those those orders out on a timely basis and not have people waiting for their orders, that's kind of the way it went. But it was nice to actually get a few days off. Anyway, okay, well, let's get to some stitching. That's why you're here. So I have been doing a decent amount of stitching. Of course, it's been like 5.5 weeks since I've been on here. So I've got a few things to show you. I believe that the last time I had shown you my focus piece, or one that I was really just loving, that was by Plum Street Samplers, A New Constellation, which is Paulette's Ode to Betsy Ross. And I can just say that I absolutely love this. So last time that I think I showed this, I had just done the flag and the flower here. So now I have finished the second band and the third band, and have just started on the church on the top band. So I'm really loving how this is coming out. I just absolutely love this. And my goal is to, here's what it looks like, or here's what it will look like. Oh, I should have taken that out of the plastic. Sorry about that, y'all. My goal is to have that finished by Labor Day. I work on it on Fridays and Saturdays, and sometimes maybe a Sunday too, depending upon if I've kind of had like a portion that I want to get finished before I actually stop. So I've just got that top band to do, and then the flower pot flowers up the sides, and it's done. So I'm hoping to have that one done by Labor Day. That would be my goal. Let's see. Next, I have my my berry bowl. As you know, Kristen, who's Blue Bonnets and Whiskey, and I are hosting the Berry Bowl Sampler Sal. The Berry Bowl Sampler, from a collaboration between Beth Twist from Heartstring Samplery and Tanya Brockmeyer, who's from the Scarlett House. Let me get the board so I can show you this better. I only work on this on Mondays, so it's a decent amount of progress. As you can see right now, whoops, I'm working on this really big berry bowl. That one is huge, guys. Hopefully you can kind of see that. I really am enjoying this one as well. So that's my Monday focus piece. So some decent progress there. And then let's see. Then I have a finish to show. If you follow me on my Instagram, my personal Instagram is at McMamaHollis. And then I have one for the shop as well, you know, which is the Hollis Hands Create. But if you follow me on my personal Instagram, I did post the finish on this. Was hoping to count it as a July finish, but I actually finished it August 1st. As late as I was trying to stitch that night, I was falling asleep. The 31st, ended up getting up the next morning, Saturday, August 1st, and finishing about 45 minutes worth of stitching to get mine finished. But here is Jenny Bean's Friendship Sampler by the Shakespeare's Peddler. And I really love this. I did make a few changes. Down here at the bottom, it was supposed to have 2 solid bands of satin stitch, just 2 colors, one on top of the other. And I don't know, if it's grass, I kind of wanted it to look like grass. So I did use a long stitch, but I took the 2 colors that were called for and just mixed them in and did it like that to kind of look like grass. And then I did make a change here. I believe it called for Gentle Arts used brick, and I used Classic Color Works Campfire, just because it has such a cool brick, color to it. And this was done on 36, I believe, 36, maybe 40 count. I've already put my project card away. Lamb's Wool by XJU Designs. So I'm very excited about that. I was waiting until this one was finished, and I'm gonna try total framing for the first time. And I have 3 pieces that I'm gonna be sending to them probably tomorrow. I wanted to show this first before I shipped it off to be framed. But so that one is that one's a finish. I'm very excited about that. And of course, we can't have a finish without rewarding ourselves with a new start. And so I had already had this one kitted up, and my friend Becky, who Socks for Mom, I messaged her and I said, have you by chance started Ann Thomas? Because we talked about it, and I kind of thought that she had. Don't you just love this, ladies and guys? This is so cool. So it's Ann Thomas, 1854. And so the joke has kind of become that the bird in the middle, the pigeon in the middle, is Walter. And I believe that Teresa Vanette, who's Kitten Stitcher, is the one who might have started that, because she's stitching. And so a couple of weeks ago, I think this today is Wednesday, so it'll be Walter Wednesday. We're using hashtag Walter Wednesday. And I believe that I will get, I think this will be my third week. So here's Walter so far. And I'm stitching him on 36 count chocolate milk by hand dyed by Stephanie. And thoroughly enjoying that. And Becky we're stitching right at the same place and everything. She's doing hers in silks. I'm doing mine in DMC. So it's very interesting when we both post our pictures for the evening, and we also send pictures back and forth to each other, to see there's not just a tremendous amount of difference in the color saturation or anything between the silk and the DMC. So far I'm very happy with how it's looking with the DMC. So anyway, so that was my new start. And if you want to keep up with us, watch us, you can follow the hashtag Walter Wednesday. And let's see, so then we crossed over into August. So I had a couple of little small patriotic types of projects that I think I had shown you, Where Liberty Dwells by Brenda Gervais, and Grace on Thee by Plum Street. And they were kind of some smaller ones that I would pull out and work on when sometimes you don't want to pull something big and I just need something small, work on those. Well, I put those away, because I know it's 102 degrees out and I know it's still summer, but I'm not feeling like summer. I am feeling like I want to do some fall stitching. So I went in because I was like, I'm not stitching something, I'm not starting anything new, even though I have quite a few things in my stash that are fall and Halloween related that I'm kind of anxious to get to. I have to finish a couple of things before I pull anything else out. So, and because I want to get to those, I thought, you know what, I'm switching right now, and I'm pulling out a couple of things, and let's see what I can get accomplished. So the first one that I pulled out, let's see if you can see this one okay, is Thankful Quaker from Bent Creek. And this was actually a little kit that I bought, from the old Mill Stitchery, which was in Liberty, Missouri, and they've since closed, but it was when we were in Kansas City. And they had a model done and a little kit made up. And so I purchased it, and it's been in my stash for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. So I started this last year as a Mania finish, so Mania 2019. And Mania start. Did I say Mania finish? I wish they were all Mania finishes. Maybe that's what we should do. We should have a month for Mania starts and a month for Mania finishes. That's not a bad idea. I have to think about that one. So I pulled this out and started stitching on it. This is where I am. So I did stitch a little bit on this past Sunday when we were at my son's apartment up in Springfield. Didn't get a tremendous amount, but I did, enough to say I got a new start on it. So my other focus that I'm going to have for this month, and hopefully can get a finish, I pulled this one out, and I've done 2 evenings of stitching on this. And my thread needle are still in here because I stitched on this last night during our group Zoom meeting. But I just got a finish on the house last week, Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. And this also, I believe, was a Mania start, 2019 Mania start. So, and last week I finished that house, and then last night during our Zoom I was working on filling in the bowl, the urn, whatever you want to call that, pedestal bowl. So very happy with the progress on this, and hoping to get a finish for both of these so that then I can reward myself with a fall start. So that's where I am with those. So that kind of catches you up on what I've been stitching on, and what my plan is, because I'm going to keep up with just those until 1 or 2 of those are finished before I can add something back in. I just have to get my whip count down, and I want to get my Mania starts from last year down, because I definitely have some of the things that I want to get to. So I love what I'm stitching on. I don't want to just let it languish. So anyway, next, I have been doing some purchasing. Did receive a couple of things from belonging to a group. And I'm sure a lot of you belong to the Homespun Needlework and Cross Stitch Samplers Facebook group. And she had a featured kit that we were able to get if we were a member of that group. And it's United We Stand from Blackbird Designs. And the shop that she used to kit this and put it together and send it out was Quilter Station. Which is actually in Kansas City area, which is where I'm from, and so I was very familiar with this quilt shop. It's a great quilt shop, and they just look how they put all this together. This just arrived while we were away on the weekend, so I was excited to get this when we got back. And there's all your threads, and there's finishing fabric, and I hadn't opened it yet because I just thought the presentation was so nice. So I'm gonna open it real quick because I wanna pull out that thread keep and take a look at the design on that. Oh man, they really tied this tight. So let me see, let me get this open. Okay, well that might be a challenge. So I'm gonna actually cut that top with my new scissors that I just got from Not Forgotten Farms. Aren't those cool? I love these. So so here we go. So there's, there we go, Quilter Station. And good grief, still upside down. There we go, Quilter Station. And it looks like they attached a little needle and some felt there on the back. Oh, and look at this. United We Stand. Isn't that cool? Love that. Such a nice kit, nice presentation. And then from Country Sampler, I belong to the Schoolgirl Sampler Society, and I'm sure everybody has seen this. I was a little later to receive mine because they had called and asked if it was okay because there was a bit of a delay in obtaining some of the week's linen. And I said, absolutely fine. You can put me towards the end of the list. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to be stitching this, right now anyway. But it's Dolly Fowles 4 Lions Sampler. Now I have seen some people rehome their kit because maybe this, this chart is not quite their fancy. I'm going to reserve judgment. It is a little bit bland for me. Here's the color palette you can see. So it is, it's a little bit bland, but I do like the motifs. I love the berry bowls. As you know, I love berry bowls. So I don't know, I'm gonna reserve judgment on that one for a while. I've got so much to stitch on right now that I'm not worried about, when I get to it anyway. So those were fun to get in the mail. It's always a treat. I did get in a little bit of linen from Seraphim. I've really been going to town on their website, and I ordered Tobias. Which is really beautiful. Now that side is not nearly as mottled as the other side, but I love the color. And then I have gotten in Bee's Knees. I've seen several people have this one, and I've gotten several other fabrics from them, but I hadn't gotten this one. There, that's a pretty good representation. Really beautiful. And very similar to the lakeside linens like butter pecan. So if you're looking for a potential substitute for one of the lakeside linens, since they are so hard to get, I would suggest, looking at Seraphim. It's seraphimfabrics.com, and Laurie is the dyer, and the turnaround time is probably about 2 weeks. So not bad at all, especially right now. Marilyn at Picture This Plus had messaged all shops and designers that they're having difficulty getting some of the dyes, that they are being back ordered, and she's had to discontinue a couple of colors, and her turnaround time since market has grown. It's right now running about 14 to 16 weeks from the time you place an order. So there you go. Not that it's their fault. She said they're literally dyeing about 90 yards a day, which is a lot of fabric. And but things are just, people are home, people are stitching. they're hoarding, I think. They're doing all kinds of things with fabric and threads, and which is kind of exciting to see. The interest in our hobby is just through the roof, and absolutely love it. I had seen someone talk about this, or I saw it on the news, or I can't remember now where I saw it, but they were saying that right now the #2 most popular hobby behind bicycling is sewing right now. And boy, you can really see it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So a little bit more stash. I did go on to Stone Street Stitchworks, and ordered the MLK sampler, which she had done. You could purchase this for $5 if you then agreed to donate to a charity. And I used to work for a nonprofit in Kansas City before we moved here, so I, of course, typically will donate back to that nonprofit, which is Don Bosco Community Centers in Kansas City. And I love being able to support them. The sentiment on here is the time is always right to do what is right. Couldn't be more true. Couldn't be more true. So I did order that. And then I was totally enabled by Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, and Deb from Country Stitchers. I just love this. G. Ledger, 1898, by Reflets de Soie. I just love it. I love that house and the big fruit. Oh, just, and the way that Deb is stitching hers by kind of antiquing it herself as she goes. I believe she's using like a tea bag. That is just such a cool idea. I don't know when I'm going to start this because I clearly have some other things, and I've promised that I'm not going to do a new start until I get some more things finished. But anyway, had to have that. And then I'm on Amazon quite a lot. I order some of my shipping supplies through there, and we're Prime members, so I don't have to pay for shipping. Some I don't order through Amazon, but some of them I do. And I just happen to, type in cross stitch samplers, and this book came up. Now, it's not a new book. It's Cross Stitch Antique Style Samplers by Jane Greenoff. And I believe, let's see, this was first published in the UK in 2005, and then the first paperback edition was 2007. So, but I had seen a couple of, and I believe this is the one that I was looking at, this one. Oh, I love that. And yeah, because it's on the back. Look at that. And now that's a little bit different colors. Somebody changed it a little bit. But I absolutely love that. And it wasn't very expensive. I want to say like maybe $18.50. And you get, let's see how many you get. Oh gosh, quite a few here. She breaks it up into band samplers, Berlin woolwork samplers, red samplers, spot motif samplers, darning, map, alphabet, and house samplers, and Victorian sentiments. So you're getting examples of samplers from each of those kind of genres within the sampler family. And she shows some, she does a brief history of samplers in the beginning. Then she does some really, back to basics, materials, equipment, working from charts, things like that. So you could, if you wanted to get started stitching samplers, this would be a great book to start, stitching samplers as well. And then my friend Becky, I mentioned her a couple times, Socks from Mom. totally showed this picture from the Art of William Morris. And it's a cross stitch that I believe she's stitching on it at her lunchtime, I think is what she said, for 30 minutes at lunchtime. And it's the Strawberry Thief, which is from the Art of William Morris. So I jumped right on to Amazon actually, and they had one book left. And so I snagged it. And let's see, I'm looking for the picture here. There we go. Without showing you the chart. This is the one. Oh, and I just love that. So, and it's stitched on a navy fabric. So I ordered some navy fabric, and I want to stitch that one as well. There's 40 projects in here. So the Art of William Morris in cross stitch. And even that, I mean, look at that. So cool. So anyway, I was totally enabled this last 5 or 6 weeks. So, and then speaking of enabling, Instagram, we all know what Instagram can do to you. Under the Woolen Willow, Michelle. What a talented and creative lady she is. And she posts some things on Instagram, and you just race right over to her Etsy shop, Under the Woolen Willow, and you have to get her stuff. It's just so cool. Anyway, so I got these jute carrots, and very reasonable. I think these are like $6. Very reasonable. I haven't taken some of these things out yet. Like the carrots, I'll put those out. I wanted to show them first. So I'll put those out now. Then I ordered this pumpkin pincushion. Isn't that the coolest? Absolutely love this. And this is a cinnamon stick. So there's like a really nice smell to it. And look at that button on the bottom. She's had some tomato pincushions that she had in the shop too that were just really cool. I had not ordered one of those yet, but this pumpkin, I just couldn't resist. And then I ordered these guys. And it's just wool work. So you see the back. Peace and love. And I ordered these for my my dough bowl. My dough bowl is a rectangular, elongated rectangular bowl. And for winter, I fill it with like some cinnamony type potpourri and some different like little pillows and things like that. And I thought, oh, this would be so cute just to add like, as little accents. And again, very reasonable price. So anyway, and Michelle, she packages everything so nicely. So when you get your little box, it's beautifully wrapped in tissue paper and with a thank you sticker. And then she also included in my second package, because this was 2 packages and I actually have a third one I'm waiting on, hoping it'll come in the mail today. She added these cute little cards. Aren't those adorable? And it's the nice little touches like that make you appreciate a seller and the work that they go to sell the item. These things are so reasonably priced, and I can't imagine how long it takes her to do it. So if you're looking for this kind of stuff, you appreciate this kind of thing, go over and check her out, Under the Woolen Willow on Etsy. All right, so kindness, talking about kindness and thoughtfulness, things like that. we've been talking about that. We've had the kindness challenge that Deb and her daughter, Country Stitcher, did, which was really cool. A lot of people participated in, and I don't want that to have been just a quick little, fad. So I thought it was important to kind of, talk about another kindness that I received, and it wasn't necessarily a stitchy kindness, but kind of. I go to the post office every day, and I'm hauling in a lot of packages every day, and so you get to know, the postal workers, and we have a couple of really very nice people who work at our post office, and one of them, Amy, happens to be a quilter, and so of course, I'm there every day. We get to talking. She lives near me. Anyway, so one day she knows that I sell fabric and things like that. And so she said, I have something for you. And she goes, and I'm going to bring it in tomorrow. And if I'm not here at the window when you come in, tell whoever's here your name and that there's something for you. And I was like, okay. So I'm going to insert a picture of what she had for me, but I will tell you, it was a box of, I think it was 1,400 safety pins, like the little 3/4, 1-inch safety pins, because she knows that I pin, the little tags on for the fabric names and counts when I send them out. And she said, she had them and was never going to use them, and so she figured that I could use them, and so there you go, some kindness. And I was so floored, I was really taken aback, and I was like, that is just such the nicest person, and just the nicest thing. So I just thought that was important to share, that we've got some kindness, and you'll see the picture. Because I'll insert the picture so that you can see what that box looked like. So real quickly, on to the next thing. I did have a giveaway, and the 3 charts that I showed you when I last video were from Hands On Design, courtesy of my good friend Linda. So Bitter Brew, Bat Balm, and broom fuel, or broomstick fuel. And I said what I was going to do was sweeten the pot. So what I'm adding are 3 more charts: snail slime, spider legs, and skeleton polish, plus from Just Another Button Company, the Gus Ghost. We could order these wholesale, and they just flew. I mean, absolutely flew right out. They were sold out. It's the cutest little thing. So it's a spool, and then a wool ball, and some gauze and everything, and you can make your own. All you have to do is add your needle thread and a little bit of hot glue, or you could use Aleene's, something like that if you wanted to, and you'll make your own. Isn't that the neatest thing? Then you can stick, let me show you inside with the wool ball. There's that little pumpkin button pin already in there. So you have your own little kind of a pincushion type deal. So adding that from Kelmscott Designs. I just put these into the shop. So your needle minder, this is only about 1 inch circumference, so it's not heavy. It doesn't weigh your fabric down too much. But to get you into the fall and Halloween mood, the spider web with the spider in the middle. Spool of the Krynic. This one's the 011HL, which is used, I believe, on every single one of the Scary Apothecary charts. And to further get you into the little Halloween mood or fall mood, here's a little pumpkin needle book for you on both sides. You just open it up. There's a little felt piece, and there's a couple little pins, needles in there. So just a little cute doodaddy thing. So that will be the giveaway, and it goes to Gail Blaine. It's B-L-A-I-N, Gail Blaine. So Gail, if you are watching, you have won. Congratulations. I will comment on your comment, let you know, and then you can look for my email address in the description box below, and just email me with your mailing address, and I'll get your package right out to you. Package of goodies. And let's see, last thing, I did just real quickly, and I'm just going to give you a quick update on the shop. So if you're good to go, then hope you enjoy the rest of your August, and hope you'll come back and visit with me again soon. If you want to listen to my next 2 minutes or so, I don't want to talk a lot about it, but I did just add a few things to the shop. I added a few of the Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives charts. The new witch charts from Lila's Studio should be here tomorrow, I believe my tracking says, so those will be going into the shop. I did get a decent load of fabric from Picture This Plus last week, and I put it in on Thursday right before I closed the shop, or Tuesday before I closed the shop. So there's, I just reopened the shop on Monday evening, and so there's been a few people who have wandered back in and bought some, but there is a decent amount of Picture This Plus fabric in there right now. I would anticipate that my next order probably will not be here for about another 2 months. So just kind of, keeping you up on that. Right now I am concentrating on putting in the fall and Christmas, or beefing them up. There were already some charts in there, obviously, that were fall and winter Christmas. But, ordering back in some of the ones that are popular every year, and getting those fully stocked. If you've got something that you're looking for, send me a message. I'll try my best to get it. Anyway, so that's it. Just a quick update there. And thank you so much for, visiting with me. And I hope you enjoyed, what you saw. And I'll be back, hopefully this time, hopefully be back in just a couple of weeks, and it won't be quite as much. It was very difficult to even think about trying to get all this together and film everything, while my mom was here. But so we're back to just my husband and I again, and so I should be back in a couple of weeks. And in the meantime, try to create every day, and enjoy the rest of your month. Take care now.